Is Janet from another planet? 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 Is Janet from another planet?
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello guys. Oh, I forgot. I wonder why we're all on one side.
Because that's how it is.
Is it because I have a video that I'm going to show?
Yeah, or something. You set it up that way.
Yeah, okay. That's probably. But hello, everyone. Thank you for showing up tonight. And thank you, Tommy. And thank you, Ruben, for being here. I thought I would start off with a little joke from Ronald Reagan first. So I'm going to present that really quick.
I asked my friend's little girl what she wanted to be when she grows up. She said she wanted to be the President of the United States. Both of her parents, liberal Democrats, were standing there. So I asked her, if you were president, what would be the first thing you would do? Well, she replied, I'd give food and houses to all the homeless people. Her parents beamed. Wow, what a worthy goal, I told her. But you don't have to wait until you're president to do that. You see, you can come over to my house right now, and you can mow the lawn, pull weeds, and sweep my driveway, and I'll pay you $50. Then, I'll take you over to the grocery store where that homeless guy hangs out, and you can give him the $50 to use toward food and a new house. She thought that over for a few seconds, then she looked me straight in the eye and asked, why doesn't the homeless guy come over and do the work and you can just pay him the $50? I said, welcome to the Republican Party. Her parents are still not speaking to me.
Oh, I just thought that was funny. I was going through a whole bunch of videos that
But the thing is that Trump would say that now in his own way.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought it was hilarious because.
But I remember that a lot. I remember. Yeah, I watched that when it happened.
Oh, really?
Yes, of course.
I don't remember watching it on TV or anything like that. I just remember other people talking about it and stuff, and then it coming out on.
What am I old?
So I thought that
was 40.
Really good because honestly, if every parent would do that, teach their kid, hey, if you want this is how you can do it. This is how you can achieve your goal, and get them to go and do that. And a couple of parents I've played a few videos where the kid got their first job and they got their first check, and then the mom would take help cash a check and then say that, okay, well, this is money for this is money for that. And then she'd take like $20 and take it to give it to their sibling. And they're like, what are you doing? Well, this is how it works in the system. You have to take money out of your check to give to people who don't do anything to earn it.
Well, there was one very similar to that, where the mother actually had the daughter completely clean out the kitchen, like scrub it from top to bottom, like and make everything spotless. And she got she was like, amazing job on that. Oh, I seen this one on Twitter for that one. And she handed her like $50. She said, well, I got to take half of it and give it to your sister who's laying around doing nothing. And she's like, well, that's not fair. And she's like, well, welcome to socialism.
I know. And that's a great thing, though, for parents to teach their kids what it actually means. Because apparently, look at all the people that just voted in New York to get to openly vote a Democratic socialist in as their mayor. So let's wait and see how that goes for these people, because they think they know what they're getting. But I think they're going to have a very, hard road to hoe. But this other thing I wanted to play, I thought was really cute. So I was going to say, this is hot news. So I'm going to share this with you because I thought it was really nice. This guy does right here. I don't know if you guys saw this. It says, man chases down and catches a thief who stole a purse from an 87-year-old woman at a grocery store and is later rewarded for his bravery by the sheriff's department. Well, I want you to watch this video. Okay, this is the grocery store right here.
Well, Janet, it looks like he's got him in a pretty good position right there. He probably could go for the rear naked choke at any point during this time and win this fight. I don't know why he's prolonging the agony for this guy. Just put this one away and let's move on to the next bout.
I just think it's great.
He came out the store because you were chasing him. You were on him. Yeah. And he was running as fast as he could. And he's probably never ran that fast in his life. No. And he's probably not appreciated the police showing up that quick in his life, which we didn't get there real quick, winky wink. You took and made what we call a citizen's arrest. And you make us very, very proud. Everybody, just not here, but everybody in the country, man. Yeah. And we're proud of you, and I mean that. And thank you for what you've done. So hold on to that right there, and they can get you a little picture of that. Right on over there, man. You guys are right in there. Is that a picture or what, folks? All right. Hey, all right.
In Georgia?
Oh, look,
I can't remember what state it is in, but the thing is, this is the kind of stuff that needs to be on the news. This is showing a black man saving a woman's purse for because he's a decent guy. This is showing that there's good people on both sides. Okay. And the fact that the police department even recognized what he did was a wonderful thing to help someone else, because he could have got hurt. The guy could have had a knife, and we don't know. But the thing is, he did it. He didn't have to do anything, but he took the time and did it for someone else that he didn't even know. And you could see him wipe that tear from his eye. I just thought it was wonderful to see that. And I wish, I really, really wish we could see more things like this happen on the news, nationwide, so people can see that there's still good people in the world. And you could be a good person too. If you see something, try to help.
And that's the thing. A lot of these kind of things are never going to be put on the news, because this actually kind of promotes one of the things that he no doubt had in his family, which is family values and having respect for other people, and especially having respect for the elderly. The news media outlets don't want to push anything like that because they're completely anti-family values. They're completely against that nuclear family as it is right now. So that's why it's, stories like this will never get pushed on any of those news outlets ever.
Well, I'm sharing it in my chat so that anyone else that hasn't seen it or wants to
Jennifer,
share it with us.
Yeah, delete what you have. Delete whatever you put in your chat.
Why?
I don't know. It's just a bunch of numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder what that is. That's ridiculous. See right above it? This is it. So it did something.
It looks like it carried the numbers over.
Oh, it's the second part of it. So I wonder why it cut it in half. I guess it was too big.
Okay. I hope so. Thank God.
Yeah, sorry, guys. It cut it in half for some reason. I have no idea. Maybe it was the way I pressed on the mouse or something. I've never seen it do that before. But I just wanted to share that because I just think that's wonderful that we had.
For a minute, that was a credit card number. Oh my God, what are you doing?
No, not that. I don't buy stuff like that on my internet, like that over on my computer or whatever. And I don't save numbers like that. Whenever I buy anything over the internet, which is usually right before Christmas, I go buy those prepaid cards.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I use. That way, if they get the number, they don't get that much off of it because there's nothing. I'm not going to put my actual bank account stuff on there. So I'm one of those people. Cheap. But yeah, I just thought that was really, really nice, and I wanted to share that. Yeah. But this next thing, hold on, gotta make sure I got the right.
Is Vink? I'm sorry, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that name. Zinkla? I can't pronounce that. He said it was in Ohio.
Oh, it was in Ohio? Well, great. It's awesome. It's nice to know that Ohio's got some good, decent people that care about their neighbors and try to help. It's nice to see that because I wish we could see more of that. And I know that there's more of that. I know there's people helping other people in instances like that. It's just nobody knows because nobody shares it. You know what I mean? So it's really, really terrible. But let's see. The other thing I wanted to share was this, because I think we need to be reminded of this. I remember my mother loved Paul Harvey. She used to listen to lots of his shows and stuff. And my grandmother would sit with her. And I remember listening to that a lot. So I want to share this. I'm going to share this up and let you guys listen to this. I'm sure you probably all heard it before, but I think starting out our first shit show of the year, the brand new year, this is a good reminder of where we could be going or not going, depending on our choices in this new year for ourselves.
If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree, thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
Yeah, pretty scary.
Yeah, be careful. That's the edited version.
You know what I mean? It's pretty scary.
Yeah,
that came out in 1965.
That's the edited version. It's edited. It's been not the original
but it
version.
came out in 1965, and
but it's
all
not the real
the
version.
things he was talking about in that are happening today.
Yeah, but that's not the real version. So be careful.
Well, I wanted to play it so that people could think about it and start making better decisions for you and your families if you can. And think about what choices you make and how it's going to affect other people. And hopefully somebody will do that. But this next thing I wanted to present, welcome, Rex. I'm glad you could join us. I had sent it to X, but I thought, well, I better send it to the other channel too, just in case it makes you could get it. So thank you for joining us. So I'm going to share this other image file. Let me get it.
Sorry, I missed the Paul Harvey thing. I used to like to listen to him. Paul Harvey in 1965 when I was born. Wow.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But the thing is, it's what he was saying that I thought was important. And I wanted to share it for the new year so that people could, I think this is the right one. Is it this one?
Long time ago. Way to backhand me and insult me about my age. That's okay. That's fine. Ageism, I discovered on the internet is a thing. That's fine. That's fine. 60 years ago was not that long ago. Come on. What, Tommy?
Oh no. All I heard you saying, Rex, was "Get off my damn lawn, you damn kids." That's all I kept hearing, and I feel the same way, brother. I feel the same way.
Get off my lawn. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to share this right here because I think it's pretty interesting. It's
his eyes are crossed. His eyes are crossed.
Well, it's a pause while he's speaking. The thing is that I was thinking when I saw this that hell must be froze over because on January 1st, a legacy media anchor came out and looked at the camera and started talking about everything that we've been saying about the media. And so I don't know if it's because they mean it or if they're hurting so bad for clients that they decided, well, we got to have at least one person on our channel that tells the truth. So I just thought it was pretty interesting. So I wanted to play this for you if you guys hadn't seen it. But listen to this reporter.
A lot has changed since the first person sat in this chair. But for me, the biggest difference is people do not trust us like they used to. And it's not just us. It's all of legacy media. And I get it. I get it because I've been hearing about it from just about everybody for more than 20 years as I've traveled America on this assignment or that. My mom's neighbors in West Virginia, my own neighbors in New York City, thousands and thousands of conversations in between. Sometimes people want to talk to me about our coverage of NAFTA or the Iraq War. Other times it's all about Hillary Clinton's emails or Russiagate. Or more recently, COVID lockdowns, Hunter Biden's laptop, or the president's fitness for office. The point is, on too many stories, the press has missed the story because we've taken into account the perspective of advocates and not the average American. Or we put too much weight in the analysis of academics or elites and not enough on you. And I know this because at certain points, I have been you. I have felt this way too. I felt like what I was seeing and hearing on the news didn't reflect what I was seeing and hearing in my own life, and that the most urgent questions simply weren't being asked. So here's my promise to you today and every time you see me in this chair. You come first, not advertisers, not politicians, not corporate interests. And yes, that does include the corporate owners of CBS. I report for you, which means I tell you what I know, when I know it, and how I know it. And when I get it wrong, I'll tell you that too. It also means I'm going to talk to everybody and hold everyone in public life to the very same standard. After all, I became a journalist to talk to people. I love talking to people about what works in this country, what doesn't, and not only what should change, but the good ideas that should never change. I think telling the truth is one of them. I'm Tony DeCopel, the anchor of the CBS Evening News. Hold me to it.
Well, one thing I wanted to say is the people who watch this channel after what he just said, anytime after hearing him say that and they don't hold him accountable for it, whose fault is that? You know what I'm saying?
It's 100% the people that still buy into that. I mean, because I know there's some old school diehards that they feel like they have to watch the nightly news and they got to do this. And me, myself, I grew up with my parents that used to watch that stuff, and I seen the hypocrisy was going on back then. I seen it in the late 70s as a little kid. And I was like, I tuned out and I never wanted to watch it since. And I've been that way my whole life. I can't stand any of them because every single one of these news media outlets always got to put their own damn spin on this shit. And they really do skate over a lot, skate and skirt over a lot of issues. And you even see that stuff with some of these influencers, especially on places like Twitter and places like that, where they will spin it for whoever their chosen is. And regardless of what that individual or group of individuals may be doing wrong, they refuse to see it because they have to keep the message going just in one direction and one direction only. And unfortunately, that's what's happened with a lot of these news media outlets. They got to keep the message. This is where we need the message to be, regardless of whether it's right or wrong. Just blast this to them because this is what we want them to see. And if you think about it, it sounds very, it sounds very much like what George Orwell wrote with 1984. We've got to put the message forth that we want the people to be able to hear. This is what we need to feed them. We can't give them any other information. Only the information we deem feasible for them to have is what they're going to get. And we're seeing that with a lot of these news media outlets.
Because of the Smith-Mundt Act that Obama put into action when he was his first term, it lets them lie. They can say whatever they want and we can't do anything about it. So they need to go back. Congress needs to get off their butt, like I'm saying all the time, go back and undo what Obama added to the Smith-Mundt Act and fix it. But what's nice is I'm starting to see other people.
It's not going to happen.
So,
for you to ask Congress and wish that, it's not going to make it happen, Janet. I'm sorry.
No,
but,
I know.
I mean, yeah, that's your hopes and dreams, and that's good to express that. But Congress ain't going to do dick. I mean, like term limits, dead on arrival. They're not going to do that. That's like, oh, you got, pay cut and all that. Look, this goes back before Randolph Hearst. This goes back to revolutionary times, power of the press. It is a heady thing. They want to form public opinion and always have had, they've been a strong arm of the government for a very long time, used for good and bad purposes. And so this is nothing new. But yes, we've traveled a long way in 60 years or so. when Walter Cronkite was voted the most trusted man in America. Remember that? Maybe you're not old enough, but this old man does. Most trusted man in America. And that was a newscaster. Now, and he was, in retrospective, on the left, leaning left, like most of the media does, Now we kind of have more of a choice, starting with Fox, and now that's been overthrown. And now you have like other newscasts that can,
One
more
news
conservative.
Network. And then you have the one that, what's his name? Is running for governor, the My Pillow guy. He started a
Lindell.
Yeah, Lindell. He started a news company. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I have played a few snippets here and there of his.
Didn't Trump start something?
Well, he's got Truth Social. I'm on that.
Which is what? What is that?
It's like Twitter.
Okay, that's yeah.
It's getting bigger. It's kind of like what was Parler was, that grew like really huge, and Google and YouTube and them ganged up on it and took their servers down. So they basically had no way to do it. And as soon as they bent the knee to Google and stuff to get back on it, people left because it wasn't the same.
I got to give the evil eye, the stink eye to that guy that just spoke. I'm glad he said that, but hold him accountable. I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in CBS or his overlords that pay his paycheck.
But what cracked me up about what he said was, I've been doing this for 20 years. Why did it take him 20 years to say what he said? You know what I mean?
He knows that
as a journalist, he should have started out like that.
He knows from the conversations that the people aren't happy. And it's never been about we, the people, not for a long time. I'm Mr. Skeptical Stink Eye on that one, I mean, I said the words, remember, like maybe 5 years ago, he'll refer back to it. I've said that before, and he'll play that clip to remind people so that he washes his hands, like Pilate.
Oh, well, it could also be, and I've seen this a lot with some people. You remember I know you remember these, Rex, the really old school incandescent bulbs that take a little while to heat up before they light up.
Right.
maybe that bulb in his head is slow starting. And it was 20 years ago.
If that's the case,
blinking on and off.
If that's the case, he's a moron. Because I've been woke up since Nixon,
Well, this next thing I'm going to play goes along with what that gentleman just did, and Trump, and has Trump what he's wanting to do. So it's a couple of different people speaking on a couple little videos, but they're all together. So I'm gonna share this, because I think it's pretty good. So I'm going to let you guys listen to each of them. I'm going to play one at a time. So here we go.
In 2013, it was legalized in the United States to propagandize its citizens. What? Like, that's some scary third world stuff going on.
Trying to make
it 13. It was legalized in the United States to propagandize its citizens. What? Like, that's some scary third world stuff going on. That's the kind of stuff that people use to topple governments, to take away freedoms.
Yes, you heard that right. Almost a decade ago, propaganda was legalized in the United States with the passage of the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, which you've probably never heard of. The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act was buried in the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act for a good reason, because it repealed the 1948 Smith-Mundt Act, which authorized the State Department and the mainstream media to engage in propagandizing foreign countries, but it prohibited releasing that same propaganda in America for public consumption. This prohibition was lifted when the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act was signed into law by Obama.
Very simply, Obama gave it a reboot in 2012. So no matter how outrageous the propaganda may be, it's completely legal.
Propaganda, in other words, a false narrative for whatever specific purpose, is now much, much easier to perpetrate on the people.
So and yet they'll come after us, right? They'll come after us for misspeak that doesn't follow the narrative. They'll shut you down. They'll jail you. And they'll probably even cite that it's propaganda.
But I wanted to share that.
Start to realize how.
Okay. Both these things, I've talked about the Patriot Act a few times, and I've talked about the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act that Obama signed, okay, put back out there so that they could get hand stuff over to the news and tell them to play it. Same thing with Facebook. Remember, Facebook said they couldn't help but do this, that, and the other because they were told they had to, okay, by the Obama administration and by Biden's administration. So there was a few things that I found, and I was like, wow, some of this stuff is getting pretty deep, especially since Trump has been very verbal about coming out and saying that that Obama administration's the reason why they tried to steal the election, or they used his propaganda about the fake PP dossier and all the stuff with Russia was not real. That was all fake. And they're bringing that out. Tulsi Gabbard and all of them have been bringing more stuff out. But every time I turn around, there's more stuff. And this is the reason I wanted to play that for you, is to play this, because if you start putting these out there and you're listening to them and going back and reading about some of this stuff, what other reason why would you need to do these things? To brainwash all of us, get us to hate each other, maybe cause a civil war, but to ruin our country from the inside out, basically.
Well, Janet, I got to believe within the last, from Obama forward with and Biden, that there was so much damage done. We'll be talking about it 20, 30 years from now about what all really occurred. There'll be discoveries 20, 30 years from now, I got to believe, with some of this crap.
Well, I want you to hear this guy, what he has to say. I'm going to make his thing a little bigger, but listen to this guy. And
that's what she said.
2008, something unbelievable happened for us in the FBI. We were getting lots of rumors about this high-level asset that worked for several intelligence agencies at the same time. He worked for the Saudi intelligence service. He worked for the CIA, and he was being developed as a political asset in Chicago, Illinois. He was not even a United States citizen, but it was said that he was a student visa and that he was a national from another country. In 2008, everyone in the intelligence structure found out who he was. It was this individual whose name I don't like to say, who became president in 2008 of the United States.
And I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
No, you won't.
President of the United States.
One of his code names was Renegade.
Devil incarnate.
Barry Sortoro. But he adopted a different name for his political career.
Not even an American.
Ran him for president. The cabal basically, this was the culmination of so many of their plans for so many years. His mission was to destroy the United States from within, one institution at a time. One of the things he did, of course, was he defunded our military. He brought down the resources that they got. But then he ordered our military in many, many instances and in various theaters to attack our allies and to defend and supply and help our enemies. That's exactly how he created ISIS. He would say publicly that the military were going to bomb our enemies, but then he would have the military actually bomb enemies of ISIS, our allies. He gave ISIS funding and equipment by basically ordering our military to take equipment into a certain theater and then abandon it. And the commanders would say, that's ridiculous. We'd just be handing that stuff over to ISIS. And the president's office would say, don't question orders, just follow your orders. And that.
Okay, So all of this stuff, is it making any sense to you guys? Remember the pallets of cash in the middle of the night that they were saying that they were delivering? And then the way that we left Afghanistan by leaving all of our planes and our Jeeps and our weapons, everything. We just abandoned the place.
We left troops in Benghazi that were later killed.
We
were told to stand down from rescue effort.
Also, remember the what was it called when they left all the weapons and guns and stuff on the other side of the border? They were saying they were trying to capture a bunch of drug running and stuff. It was called something guns and something. I can't remember the name of it. But all of this stuff is like, when you start putting it together, and I was like, no wonder they're putting the information out about him being the one in charge at leaking the information, knowing it was fake, to oust a sitting president. Okay. And this is a person that was president of the United States. Okay. But you have all the people now. You got the Kennedy that's in there. You got Tulsi Gabbard that wasn't really a Republican or whatever, a GOP. All of these people digging up this information and putting it out there.
That's what's scary, that a man that can have the agenda, not even an American citizen, can become president.
Mm-hmm. But it's all this stuff coming out and adding more and more and more to the story, going, wow, they went through a lot of work to get this all set up.
Why isn't he in prison?
Because they have to get the whole thing together. Did you know about this right here?
Oh, yeah, they'll be getting till the statute of limitation. They'll never get him. I predict that now. They'll never get him.
When something
eat my hat.
I know, but when something does happen, I expect you to apologize to the people that
I'll apologize and eat my hat.
Okay, well, I would love to see that, because I am starting to see why it's taken as long as it is. Now, we've arrested drug dealers, we've arrested child traffickers,
low-hanging fruit.
I know, but it's still people that are being put in prison.
I hope so. I will be dancing on my roof. I said that if he gets defeated, I'll be dancing on my roof. It never happened.
All of these people are all interconnected, because all the money, they're shutting down the money. When they don't have drugs to sell and they don't have children to sell, they don't have women to sell, they're not making money.
Biden was a useful idiot, but Obama, he was strategically placed. I blame Obama for a lot of this, especially the racial tension. He could have been the great. He could have done more for blacks. I'm not calling that right.
No,
I mean, when straight out of high school, applying for my first job besides on the farm where I did work before, straight out of high school, when I was hired, it's like, I said, why is that? Well, we have to hire so many women. We have to hire so many blacks, brown skins, whatever, minorities, that's when my eyes woke up right there to that. We got to hire a certain amount. It's like, why don't we just hire the most qualified person? Whether
the thing is, if you believe what that gentleman just said, okay, and he was FBI agent. If you believe what he said,
and I do.
Even some of it, then Obama was not put in there to help raise the black man. He was only in there for one reason, to go under everything, turn everything upside down, so all of us in America are fighting each other. Because if there's chaos in here, then they can get away with putting out the different laws to be able to track you, to be able to get your fingerprints, your DNA, to make sure that you all are on the digital thing to where you can't use cash. I mean, all the different stuff. It's slowly being implemented because they're saying for security purposes. But listen to this thing. This is another one. It says, all roads lead to Obama and the intelligence community. Raised by elites and groomed by intelligence, not only to infiltrate the United States with the presidential seat of power, but to destroy the United States, one institution at a time. This is another video, not by the same person, but listen to this. It's just very interesting how everything that we've heard about how he set up the whole thing with to get rid of Trump. Okay, so we had to get rid of him. We can't let him in there. It's Hillary's turn. Hillary's supposed to be in there. So here we go.
Nobody knew there'd be a pandemic or an epidemic of this proportion.
There may and likely will come a time in which we have both an airborne disease that is deadly. And in order for us to deal with that effectively, we have to put in place an infrastructure, not just here at home, but globally, that allows us to see it quickly, isolate it quickly, respond to it quickly. So that if and when a new strain of flu, like the Spanish flu, crops up 5 years from now or a decade from now, we've made the investment and we're further along to be able to catch it. It is a smart investment for us to make. It's not just insurance, it is knowing that down the road we're going to continue to have problems like this, particularly in a globalized world.
The day after an election, the director of the CIA authorizes a president-elect to begin receiving a PDB, a President's Daily Brief. And so the day after the election, they go with this 16-page document and they say, Mr. President-elect, wait till you see the cool things we're doing all around the world. And they've sucked him in. They made him one of the guys. And then we get the feedback at the CIA. Oh, the president loved this. The president had a follow-up question on that. Oh, the president said, oh my God, when he read this.
Well, it almost sounds like you're psychologically profiling the president.
Oh, I think that's exactly what they do.
And so they use the tools that they have employed for decades to subvert foreign governments, to subvert their own government.
In 2008, something unbelievable happened for us in the FBI. We were getting lots of rumors about this high-level asset that worked for several intelligence agencies at the same time. He worked.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. It's all starting to be put together. So it's laid out in a timeline trying to show you the people, basically, of who was doing what and who they were doing it to, which was all of us, okay, as American citizens. But on top of this information that we have now about this coming out, that they put out already, showing documentation and stuff about the PP dossier and how Trump wasn't working with Russia, and then the cheating that was going on, all these different things all being laid out, trying to show you the evidence in the timeline and how it was going. All of it already that we've got out, but also the stuff that hasn't been released yet that they're still trying to set the stage for something huge. I don't know. All I know is that something is about to happen because they have so much evidence and they have proof of it. Okay. They've got all this proof, but nothing like this has ever happened in our country. So when they put it out there and they decide to prosecute whichever way, probably with the military tribunal things, it's got to be done properly because the world is watching us, right? And a lot of it's going to come out that we screwed over other countries. Not, our country did it. So that means all of us are going to be blamed for whatever comes out to prove that this administration did some of these things.
Both Obama and Biden messed with Israel and their governments and their elections.
But not just that. Guess what else? Remember when Russia went over the border and went right to 7 different places in Ukraine? Remember that?
Janet, I can't stand up in front of the camera right now because my pants are off. You know why? Because my pants have been off since Obama, at least. Yeah,
I can believe it. But the thing is, Russia went in there because they had labs that were Who knows what they were making? What kind of chemical warfare? What kind of germs? But Russia knew that they were doing something, and they went in there. So what happened was our people that were in charge, which was the Biden administration, and this person right here, it's on the screen above him, whispering into the ears of whoever to give them some more meds and stand them up in front of the camera, whatever they were doing, right? Because they had to go to war and make Russia the bad guy, because they couldn't let Russia come out and say, this is what we got. This is what we found. This is who's doing what, blah, blah, blah. You see what I mean? So they had to come up with some more shit to throw at it. More and more money to shovel it into Ukraine to help them support the war so that they could cover up more shit. I'm telling you, it's huge. This is going to,
absolutely. It's so, but you know, it's not government that necessarily needs to be fixed. It's we, the people, that need to be fixed. I don't know why we're not protesting all this stuff right now, and we're not out there every day doing something. And then as soon as you say that, well, I got to go to work, I got to do this, I got kids. Okay. The you know, don't blame the gun for, you know, the homicide. It's we, the people, need to wake up to this stuff. We need to get active, proactive, and pressure and elect the right people that will actually tackle this.
Well,
and
isn't it interesting
right
that
people are going to be on the side of the common everyday Joe that sees the problem for what it is.
Yeah, but that seems to be the biggest problem, though. Where are the right people? Because they don't exist in the current government that we have right now. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, every last one of them is corrupt, and that goes right up to Trump too. They're all corrupt as far as I'm concerned, and I don't trust any of them. I've always been of that mindset that I don't trust suits. I don't trust them because every single one of them, in the end, they're always out for themselves. They don't really understand the plight of the common person, somebody like me, somebody like you, Janet, or some of the fine people in the chat. They don't understand our situation because they've never had to live in it. And that's what really infuriates me when you see some of these politicians say, I understand, like Bernie said, I understand the working man. Yeah, really, with your 7 mansions, you understand the common working man? Get the hell out of here.
But the thing is, because of what happened with Doge, okay, Doge was the beginning of the waterfall coming over the dam, right? They started finding all this corruption, where all these NGO money was going, and money from us. You and I worked our asses off to pay taxes out of our checks, going to these different things that Congress allotted the money to go to. Okay, Congress is the one with the purse, the one that's allowed to spend. So all these NGOs were signed off by Congress. Okay, so that's what people are not understanding, is how the money works in our country. So when Congress gave it to them, that's why you had to have, was it Marco Rubio is the one that's been traveling around and trying to shut down, not Doge, but the different NGOs, right?
And
because
trying to improve his image so that he can run for president later on.
Maybe. But the thing is,
maybe about it.
Well, somebody's got to do it. We can't just.
I'm not arguing that, but you know, let's look at the other side too. He's in it for him.
Right now, the side I'm looking at is the taxpayer side. Getting the money to cut off the money, stop spending our money on people that are 220 years old, still getting a check from Social Security, arrest the people that are cashing those checks, start stopping the funds from going to any country, you know, any of this stuff. Stop the spending. Yeah, stop the spending. Once you stop the spending, okay, and then you start closing in like we're doing little by little with the drug dealers and the human trafficking. That's other $300 million in one area of a year in human trafficking. That's how much money they make, because you can sell a kid every day, 5-6 times a day. You can only sell drugs once. Okay, there's money in it. Okay, that's why they made that movie that came out to try to explain to people. I can't remember what the name of it was right now. You know,
what, The Sound of Freedom?
Yeah, The Sound of Freedom. Okay, and they had to
Was that
fight
with
to be able to
Cavuzzo?
make that movie. What?
Was that with the guy that played Passion of Christ?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, but the thing is that we got to stop the money. Once you stop the money and you stop the drugs from coming in, you stop all the other ways that they've been getting money, their money is dwindling up. And guess what? It's shrinking on them. They're shrinking because now the facts are coming out. The money is gone. We just found out that Obama just bought a house and stuff in another country, and him and his family are leaving and going there. And then you got a bunch of other people that are packing up their stuff and leaving and going to other countries. They said America isn't for them anymore, that Trump has ruined it. Well, it's because he's stopping them funds. He's stopping the wastes of money being used in criminal enterprise. And we are being paying for it, all of us. My whole life, I'm sure, all of our whole lives, that the first time we got a check, money's been going to this criminal organization. So you got to cut the money off first. Then you can start doing the other things. And that's what I'm starting to put together.
I would be interested to hear what Tommy's solution to government is. You know, it's been so diluted down and we have such a shit show, you know, right now. How would he fix it?
I mean, number one, the biggest problem that you have with government, especially the government we have here right now, is the bloat, the over accentuated bloat. You know, when the founding fathers set everything forth, and you know, had the Congress, you had to set it, and it was supposed to be led by people who actually represented the people. We don't really have that anymore. We have people that are getting into this as a career.
Yeah,
it's a money-making scheme is basically what it is for a lot of these people. You need to get back down to they are public servants. You get a small stipend. You are not making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year anymore. That's the first thing you get rid of. There's no incentive for them to be there for money
but they had
anymore.
to pass that, right? They had to pass that law.
Well, it's either that or you have some kind of emergency powers. You know, I promise once the crisis has averted, I will give my powers back to the people. You know, you got to pull a Palpatine at this point in order to be able to get this kind of stuff done. But once you make it so they're not in there as a career anymore and they're not making money off this, then you're going to get people that are actually going to be in there for the actual welfare of their communities and everything. And that's why I applaud certain people like Glenn Jacobs, the former wrestler known as Kane. He really is all about his community and everything. From everything I've read about him and everything I've seen that he does, he's all about his community first. Even if he doesn't agree with it, if all the people really want that, that's what he's going to push for in his community. And that's really what we need. We actually need people that are not in there for a career, not in there to make themselves filthy rich. We need people that are actually going to be in there for the betterment of their community, their city, their state, whatever it is. That's what we need. That's the number one thing you got to do. And for the people that are sitting in there and, you know, they're taking all this stuff, like, you know, they're being able to do shit like Pelosi did. You got to eliminate that too. It's got to be completely eliminated across the board.
Trying to do that right now.
Yeah. But as long as you're in office and there's no way that you're going to be able to use your position to be able to benefit you, that's the only way you're going to fix it. Because once you eliminate those problems, the only reason that somebody's going to be in there is to help everybody else out and help their communities out. That's the only way to do it.
When we first started having people that would travel to Washington, D.C. to pass laws and stuff, they left. And then they went back and ran their businesses. Okay. And then they'd go back and make a vote or whatever. And then they come back and they ran their businesses. They weren't making all their money in Washington, D.C. They were making it from their jobs back home. And the sad truth is now you got them moving and living in Washington, D.C., not where their constituents live anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they want to make it a state. And that's
but they now they're working on a bill right now to get rid of being able to do stocks or anything if you're a Congress member. And they shouldn't be able to buy stocks when they're in Congress at all.
Put it on a pause. Absolutely. They're not supposed to be there for a 60-year career.
But that takes time to argue and do it by the way our Constitution is set up to follow the law. Because if we have both sides just doing whatever willy-nilly, then we're not following our Constitution. I voted for Trump because I believed that he was going to follow the Constitution and try to bring law and order back to our country. And so far, everything I've seen him doing when he went to California for the fires, trying to get them to get the water flowing again and change it so that the people can get their houses worked on, all the different things he tried, he left, and they said, fuck you anyways to the people. But Trump went there and tried to do something. He's tried, and he went to the other states that had the flooding and the mudslides, and he's tried to do everything he said he was going to do. So as long as he keeps doing that, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that all this other stuff that's slowly coming out, whichever, even though it's slow, okay, it's coming out, and hopefully people are going to be held accountable. And I've said for the last couple of years, if we don't have somebody arrested for some of the stuff that everybody thinks is the most important, not just child molesters, people that are selling kids for a dime bag of drugs, have sex with my baby.
What we the people don't understand is America's on critical care. It's been in the critical ward in the hospital for a very long time, economically, and especially with all these schmoes that are in office. And they're just like germs and bacteria parasites, leeching all they can, but they want to preside, and Obama even admitted he wanted to preside over the decline of America. Well, he did it, and he was facilitating it along with useful idiot
with whoever put him in office. But you got to remember,
I know, put it in office, and that's why I'm saying we the people need to wake up, because we are funding our own demise.
I know.
We're voting in our own demise and our own rights away.
Yeah. We're handing it over on a silver platter.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear, Biden did this and Obama did this or Trump did that. It's we the people. It's we the people. The buck's got to stop somewhere. And I don't blame. I mean,
to a lot of people, you understand. I understand why, because we've been following all of this since the beginning. As soon as our eyes were open, we've been following. But the people, some people that might be just tuning in, might not know anything about it. You see what I mean? And if we don't tell them and give them links and let them get information, how are they supposed to know? See, because the news isn't telling them. My channel's been taken down.
Every argument, you don't have to justify what you do here, Janet. Okay.
No, I know. But what I'm saying
you don't have to rehash that for me. I get it. Get the word out. I'm also saying, do you see my point?
Yeah,
that
I do.
We can say, he did that to me, like on the playground, but the buck really stops. I mean, because we're their bosses, but we don't look at that. We got this serfdom,
it's working
servitude mentality when we the people need to be out there actively pushing
80 million
and unifying, with a unified mind, because they're going to try and break us apart and pit us against each other while they rob the piggy bank.
Well,
I want to see an audit of Fort Knox. Not going to happen. Maybe not even in my lifetime.
All
the gold is not there.
All the lawfare, all that stuff didn't stop 80-something million people from voting for Trump, did it?
I get that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We're in the emergency. We're just off the ventilator for a time.
Yeah, but those
because if we were under Biden now, we would be going, whoa,
Well,
or Kamala.
Under Hillary, if we had been under Hillary, we would be under
Hillary, right? That's why I'm saying we've been in the emergency room for a long time, and we the people we should never be this weak as a nation.
Well, to me, we're still got a blood pressure. So just listen to this, gentleman. This is another thing, if you think about it, where we could have been if things hadn't happened the way they did. And the reason that things happened the way they did is because over 80 million people are like you and me and Tommy looking around and saying, we're screwed. We have got to start fighting for our country. And we stepped up and voted someone in he got certain people to run with him saying, this is what our plan is, constantly telling him every day when he signs anything, he does it with the press corps out there because he's not down in his basement where no one knows what's going on. He's trying to be as transparent as possible because that's what he said he would do. But it's up to us to start putting this stuff together, like this guy and that guy and this woman and whatever. I bring this up so people can see it and try to connect it and listen to how all of this works together and how they've all been working together to our demise. But listen to this guy, because he's talking about Kamala Harris and Waltz. So listen to this.
You know, just spitballing here, so bear with me. You know, do you guys remember when Kamala Harris chose Tim Walz as her running mate in 2024? Everyone was so shocked and surprised that, you know, she was trying to find this moderate, tough guy, white Democrat that was going to appeal to the middle. And then she ends up choosing this goofy, quirky, very feminine governor from Minnesota that nobody had ever heard of. Well, maybe it wasn't that odd of a choice after all. If you look at all of this information that's been revealed about the fraud by the Somalians in Minnesota, these daycares, Nick Shirley has revealed in the past few days has been huge. What the FBI's already uncovered with the COVID scams. What if the whole reason Tim Walz was chosen because he had access to all these billions of dollars in fraud, and the Kamala Harris campaign knew it? You can't convince me that the governor of this state had no idea. This is probably going to be the largest theft of taxpayer dollars in American history. You cannot convince me that Tim Walz had no idea this was going on. And Ilhan Omar, look at her. She grew up in the Somali community in Minnesota. You're telling me all those years of her knowing that culture, she didn't know this was going on in the Somali community? She didn't benefit from it somehow? I mean, she was virtually broke when she took office, when she was elected into the House, and now she's worth like between 20 and $30 million. Her husband, I believe, was a consultant. He went for, I think he was worth $1 million. They get married. Campaign funds go to him as a consultant. Now they're worth $30 million. What about Keith Ellison? All these people in high places from Minnesota, and none of them had a clue any of it was going on. It's either extremely corrupt or extreme incompetence. And I believe it's the former. You cannot convince me these people didn't know what was going on. And I cannot believe that Kamala Harris chose Tim Walz out of the other candidates who would have been far more qualified to be a vice presidential, be her running mate. So yeah, I think Tim Walz knew. I think he benefited from it. It's my personal opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, every single thing he said, you know what? Now that I think about it, it's 100% spot on. They needed another person that was corrupt already, had tons and tons of money, endless amounts, and us were constantly sending and throwing money to Ukraine, right? But this is another American that's been sitting there looking at all these pieces and putting the puzzle together. So when the time comes, which is the next video that I'm going to play, of what we got to do to get the arrests and stuff like that, this guy is another one of us. Another one of us has been thinking about why all these things are clicking together and why the Lego pieces are starting to connect to build this giant, massive tower of corruption, basically, and how they use you and I to work and pay taxes to try to get our measly house or whatever it is that we have, because we want freedom. We want to help other people. Like I showed at the very beginning, a young man trying to help a 87-year-old woman who had her purse snatched from her at the grocery store, because there's still good people in this country. Okay. And those are the people that I want to leave a good America for, because our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren deserve better than
Amen.
this. Okay. And that's why it's important that we get gentlemen like the one I just played sitting there thinking about it, going, we've got to do something. And that's what we're doing. But the thing is, we've got to support the people that are doing it. Okay. We have people that are digging, bringing, stacking, stapling, following the laws, getting things ready so that when it's time and they have everything they need, they can go in and do whatever has to be done, whether it's through the military or whatever. I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you how it's going to be done, but I can tell you right now that I'm really thinking something big's about to happen, and that they've got shit tons of evidence, and it's probably going to be televised, because there's never been anything like this ever happen in our country that I know of, unless it happened and they made a clone and pretended it didn't happen. I don't know.
I don't know. I wish I could say I have faith in the system. I don't anymore. After watching some of the things that have happened, like let's just take the Diddy case. All the information, all the evidence that they had on him, and what happened to him. He basically. Yeah, but he did not get charged for any of the really heinous crimes that he did.
Yeah, but he went to prison. Okay, see, that's a step in the right direction, because who would have ever thought? Now I just found out the young woman that came forward, the young black girl that was trafficked through tunnels. She kept saying that they took her through tunnels to these people's places, and that Jay-Z and Diddy and a whole bunch of other people were involved. Obama. She's named all these names, is just about to come to a head, because I was watching her video earlier and I put it on my timeline. But, nothing's come out yet finalizing that, but she had more information, and she's done 3 or 4 different interviews. So it's here, there, different people all connecting with all of these people. Okay. Because the top people think my shit don't stink. I can say whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I'm untouchable. But they're falling. And the fact that they arrested Diddy, cleaned out both his homes in Florida and in California, and he actually sitting his ass in prison right now, to me is a miracle in itself, because I didn't believe that would ever happen.
Well, but I mean, here's my problem with that. I mean, and I get it, at least something happened, but at the same token, if that was just an average everyday person that got arrested for something like that, would there have been the big deals or anything like that? No, that person would have went to jail for a very long time. As somebody who has had family that wound up in prison, I know that it doesn't take a lot for them to just say, yeah, you're guilty, goodbye, and you're off. And I think that's another big part of the corruption that we see when you're talking about people that are super wealthy, super famous, and everything like that. And that kind of goes back to what Rex was asking me about. How do you fix some of this stuff? And it all revolves right back around the corruption and greed every single time. And that's why you got to make these things a little bit less lucrative for these people that are in these positions. I know it's a little bit more difficult to get people in the entertainment industry, because that's what they're there for. But there should be different standards set in place for people like that, especially people that are in the public face all the time. There should be stiffer penalties for people like that are doing illegal shit and thinking they can get away with it because of their money.
Influencers is a new word.
Yep.
Seems to be bandied about. You should be held to a higher standard. Absolutely. Public service should mean more scrutiny, more oversight. And if you bitch about it, you're out of here.
Well, just like we've always said, when we were kids, all of us, all 3 of us, what did we look up to? We looked up to police officers, paramedics, our school teachers, sheriffs, our pastor, and our elderly.
Had role models.
Our elderly, we would say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. We would open doors or pull out chairs. We were taught something. We were taught respect for other people. Well, it seems like during the time of the people that we're talking about, during their terms, who's teaching any of that stuff? The same people, just the 80-something million people, and maybe a few more, that said, we're sick of this shit and we're going to vote for Trump. We don't care if he's a felon or whatever, because they, all the railroading or whatever, because we were tired. We needed something. We believed in something. We believed that this person, with our help, could maybe do something about it. Now we're there. We've achieved that goal, but we haven't achieved the whole thing because we have got to start seeing, like I said, arrests in 2026. But that's why I want to play this next video, because this is what he's talking about. And everybody knows who James O'Keefe is, right? YouTube know who he is, right?
Yep, I've heard of him.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to play this. This is, I think this is, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was trying to lead up to about what I feel is going to be possible in this this year that we're in, this new year.
I think the big story of the year for us was exposing the government subcontracting DEI fraud. And I wore that ridiculous wig, and I met with these people that were getting hundreds of millions of dollars from the Treasury and SBA, and they told me that none of the money goes to minorities. It just goes to line their pockets. So even if you support these DEI, even if you think, oh, it should go to the Native Americans, it doesn't go to the Native Americans. We went to California and interviewed the Native Americans, and they want all these people to go to jail.
There's only so much we can do as journalists.
Yes.
We can expose it all day long, but if nothing gets done, what are we doing?
It actually might undermine the credibility of your journalism if nothing happens. So I think it's important for us to try to hold the people to account that hold them accountable. My vision for 2026 is we need arrests. We need people to go to prison if they break. By the way, I would go to prison if I did this. So the year in review next year, our work will lead to arrests. And if it doesn't lead to arrests, I'm going to investigate the prosecutors themselves.
There you go. See, people are fired up about it. People want justice, and it's not just you and me and a few others that aren't doing anything. There's thousands and thousands of people that are on YouTube, Rumble, have their own channels, doing all this stuff, trying to get the truth out. Okay. And each time you share it with anyone that hasn't heard it, that's one new person that is possibly going to be in the army of people that are saying, prosecute, send them to jail, whatever, people on juries or whatever it is that we need. That's what I'm doing. Like me, this whole month, I'm going to be at the whim of a federal court in Little Rock. And guess what? People are saying, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go. Well, I'm doing it. Okay. And people are making fun of me because I said I'm going to do it. I'm driving 87 miles one way to do this. Okay. And I'm not going to get reimbursed my gas money. I'm doing it because somebody's got to do it. Okay. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Last spring, I went and did jury duty for a whole month in my county. So I, as an American citizen, am doing what I say I'm doing. I do this show. I pay $25 a month just to be able to air this stuff on this platform, on StreamYard. I'm not making any money. I haven't made one dime from YouTube or any of these other channels yet. Okay, because I don't have enough views. I don't have enough hours or whatever, how all this stuff works. I don't have a store. I'm not selling mugs and whatever else, t-shirts. I make stuff with my hands and I send it to people that I care about. They're not paying me for it. There was a few people that have paid me for a couple of my diamond arts or whatever else, but most of it, I do it because I want to make them something, because this is what I do. So it's all coming out of my own pocket. Okay. And I had a few other bad things that's happened. It's going to cost me money, but guess what? I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to keep doing what I'm doing right here because it matters to me that people find out new information. And if they don't know about it, I try to share it. And I share the links every time because I say, please watch it again, write down stuff, look into it yourself, share it with other people, because you might share this with someone at work or at your church or your bowling league, and they'll go, hey, I know some more about that. Let me show you what I know. And then you got two people that weren't talking about it at all, now talking about what can we do in our town or in our state. And that's how we make a difference. It may be little for just me, little old Janet, just doing this one thing is only going to affect this little area. But guess what? This little area and your little area and your little area and theirs and theirs and theirs and theirs. Guess what? It's the whole United States. That's how you have to look at it. I'm not going to give up. Just like I said, I'll probably die on my front porch. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, Janet. A lot of us are in the same position. I've been in that, would probably, well, at least as long as you know me, and probably be well before that. So it's the same thing with me. I'm not making a dime every time that I'm doing this, but like same thing. You do it because you enjoy getting that information out. I do it because I enjoy just showing off toys and the guinea pigs and stuff like that. I do it for the pure enjoyment and because I'm having fun doing it. And it's the same thing. I lose money doing this every single month. So it's not just the StreamYard. It's also the editor that I have to keep paying for and everything. So I can clip and edit the videos that I use for the live streams and everything like that. So it's cost me money too. Luckily for me, I have had a few people that were extremely generous, and maybe they've sent me a few dollars here or there, which is really helped. It does help out a lot, especially, when you got all kinds of like little animals you got to take care of, and costs are always going up. But it's as long as you enjoy what you're doing and you really do feel like your message is important one way or another, whether it's just for fun or whether it's for getting the information out, it's always worth it to do it, even if you are losing a little bit in that. So I mean,
because this is my social life right here. This is what I do every weekend. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I do have fun because I play games. I crochet. I build Legos. I do lots of things, but I do it because I like it. This is my life. This is all I do. Okay. And make things, and I have chickens, and I mow my yard and I do things like that. And I work, I do promotional work. So, I do as much as I possibly can, but I do it because I like what I do, but I care about where we are and how can we get out of it. And I try to learn as much as I can. I try to read. I try to ask questions. I know I drive a lot of people nuts because I do ask so many questions about everything, because I want to understand things. I want to see it the way other people seem to be able to see it and absorb it or whatever. Because, I just want to. I don't know why. But yeah, Tommy, I've known you, God, since before I even did live streams on my own, So, and when I first started doing the show with you and Drew, and it was great. I loved it. And I got the politics bug because of that. So, we've come a long way, but I'm still doing it. And so are you. But you make people happy when they tune in and get to watch you talk about different toys, collectibles and things like that. And that's why I think some people tune into each of us. Each of our channels offers something different. That's what makes us unique, is because we are ourselves. We're being us. We're nerds, but we care. We believe in freedom. We believe in our country and our rights. On top of us being geeks or whatever you want to call it. Look at this shirt I'm wearing. Socialism sucks. Because I lived in a couple of countries that were socialist countries, okay, at the time when I was there. So not everybody can say that because they haven't been able to travel to other places and see people with nothing, with absolutely nothing. Dirt floors, sleeping in a hammock they made at a palm fronds, things like that, and actually see people live that way, because nobody in America lives like that. They almost every person I ever met that has nothing basically has a cell phone or something, way more than some of these people that live in the jungle. They have nothing. So we are the land of milk and honey. This country is. America is the #1 country in the world, even though we have all this corruption going on. We're digging in, pulling it out by the roots, trying to. We're still, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Honestly.
Absolutely.
So that's why she's worth fighting for, to me. I'm willing to do whatever I have to sacrifice, work in a chicken plant, wait tables, dig ditches, mow people's yards, whatever I have to do, I'm willing to do it to be able to try to save what's left of our country and build it back up again and leave something better for the next generation. I want to. That will be my legacy. Not that I'm going to be, oh, look, a monument for her, but my kids will know what I did. And my grandkids and my great grandkids, because of what I did and instilled in my own children, which I think all of you do, or you wouldn't be interested in any of this. You see what I mean? Because you already have morals and family values. That's why you're where you are right now. Because I can see that in people. Just like that young man that ran out of the store and wanted to beat the tar out of that guy because it made him so mad because he saw this guy steal a woman's purse that she was buying groceries. Now, how she can't pay for anything now because someone stole her bag. So it made him mad. And what did he do? He took action, and they rewarded him for it, which is what we need. We need people to start patting each other on the back and saying, damn, that was awesome. Great job. Let's do that again tomorrow. You know, who can we help tomorrow? What can we do tomorrow to make our town better? That type of thing, that attitude. And I see that in a lot of people, and more and more people are getting that way because they're fed up too. But guess what? Enough of us went to the polls, and I guarantee it was more than 80 million people. I really do believe that. That's how we outvoted the cheat. And I do believe that. So there was a shit ton of people that went and cast their vote for the people that we have right now in this office and running things to the best that they can with what they have, and digging through and swimming through all that shit. Okay, that's what they're doing. And we have a president that took a bullet, and also multiple people have tried to kill him multiple times since he's been in office this time. And they tried to do it on national television. So, and think about that, because all of a sudden they televised the one rally that he's got to have at a teeny tiny little town that's boring as hell.
Yeah, very auspicious.
Yeah, all of it. I mean, all of this stuff is starting to make sense to me, that who's in charge. We don't know who it is, but they're higher up than Obama. They're the ones that worked it to make sure that he got in office, and that Camilla almost got in office, and Hillary almost got it. I mean, these are some big people. So it's going to take a little time, but I really do believe this year something big's going to happen. And O'Keefe said the same thing. And he says, if something doesn't happen, I'm going to start looking into those people. And I would do it. And guess what? I've even got a few calls from that group, media group, O'Keefe Media Group, to go undercover and maybe, find out some information. So in the state of Arkansas. So, I'm wanting to do it. I'm willing to try different things to do the best I can to help my country. That's how I see it. Because by me helping my state, my town, I'm helping my country. That's how I look at it. But I want to show you this next thing I thought was really another thing that I thought was pretty interesting. I think this is the right one. So yeah, here it is. I'm going to share this because this is leading into the next segment of what was going on. But let me pause this because I want you to be able to hear this guy. And this guy is not a happy guy right now. So listen to this. Here we go.
I have a quick question for you guys to work on while I'm eating my dinner. How the fuck do you get sworn in as an American mayor in an American city, New York, on a fucking Quran? How do you swear allegiance to America from a Quran? How do you do that? Somebody tell me. Is it even fucking legal?
Okay, see? Lots of people in their own way are speaking out their thoughts about different things that are going on in other places, not in their own town, but he wants to know. I don't have an answer for him. I don't know if it's legal. I said something about it earlier, and somebody told me that it was that he had the right to do that. I think it was Ruben that said that. So what do you guys think? Is it legal or not? Do either of you know?
What was the question? I mean,
the question is it legal to be sworn in, take your oath of office to become mayor of the biggest city in our country on a Quran when we're a Christian nation?
I'm sure it's on the book somewhere. I wouldn't advocate that at any time, but I don't know if it's legal or illegal. One thing occurred to me was like Mexico to replace $16 million worth of the GM corn and native varieties and ban the toxic herbicides that are being used. If we as Americans went into some of these smaller nations where, where things have not been corrupted as much as perhaps our country and the laws that impede us from doing the right thing, if we would go in as group and go, you know what, America made these mistakes. Maybe we need to, run within those countries or something, or work with those political, entities or something to get the right people in to say, we're not going to make the same mistake in these smaller countries, and then possibly, shield them and help ourselves in the process by shielding other countries from being gobbled up and taken over like we've become. Just a thought.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't have to, the healing of America does not have to necessarily, because they're pushing a global agenda.
Definitely.
Yeah. Right.
You
And
can tell
so maybe we need to be reaching out to some of these places and saying, this is a danger. Don't fall into the pitfalls we did. Don't fall into black, whatever it's called. And all these, don't take this money because that's going to lead you to this. And I think it starts with education, like you said.
I think, if you don't know anything,
send in teaching teams. You can call it propaganda if you want, but let them know that they can do the same.
Make it volunteer. See, it's not propaganda if it's forced on you. It is propaganda if it's forced upon you. But if you send in a group of people, okay, and you say, okay, we're going to teach anyone who wants to know how to do this or wants to do that, you can sign up and you can join either one of these, and we will teach you anything you need to know about that or this. And people willingly go in and sign up and learn. Totally different than saying you have to come to this camp or you're going or you're going to lose your job, just like they tried to do with the jab. Totally different.
Well, I think you need to be completely critical of the type of people that you're educating, because you don't want any of the ones from the Leering Institute. That's probably not going to help you any.
No, I understand that. I think there should be qualifications. Just like we don't want to end up back where the DEI stuff happened, where you have a person, supposedly a security person that's supposed to guard your life from being killed by Secret Service, and you got someone who's 5'7" guarding someone who's 6'4". You see, it's ridiculous. You don't hire someone who's too little for the job. You don't hire someone to be a paramedic or a fireman that can't lift a 300-pound person and put them on a gurney. You see, it just doesn't make any sense, because guess what? It could be your house that they send 4 people that are DEI hires on a fire truck to your house when there's a fire, and they can't save anyone because none of them know how to do the hose or do any of this stuff because they're too little. They can't do it. They can't do the job, but they got the job because they had a JJ. Yay!
Well, half of them just don't even give a shit about the job. I mean, and you talk about demoralization of people, and especially when you're talking about people of just say maybe even a particular country. You look at some of the shit that they're pushing over in like Scandinavian countries, where they're telling them, oh yeah, they're teaching now, they're pushing to teach in their schools now that Scandinavian culture, like the people that were Vikings, they were not all of the same race, that there was darker people that were Vikings too, and that they helped founded their society. This is the kind of stuff that they push. And what happens when people start hearing stuff like that? Like they don't matter anymore because they're claiming that, oh, other people or other races want to claim that. are now part of it, it demoralizes those people. So then where are those people when it comes time to stand up to? They've already been demoralized. They've been told that they've been bad. They've been told that they've hijacked somebody else's culture and everything like that. So when you're talking about education too, it's really got to start at the lowest level before you even wind up getting into like trades and stuff like that, because so many people are just so demoralized at this point. They don't even see a point to fight it, because, you know, no matter what, they're going to get it from every single angle.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. But here, that gentleman I just played asking the question about how in the hell can someone get sworn in to an oath to protect our Constitution when our Constitution is based on Christian values, basically, and they don't believe in Christ. Okay. So I don't know. It's just like saying they're a Satan worshiper or whatever, putting their hand on Satan's Bible. I mean, is that going to be legal? See, that's what I don't understand. I would like to.
Yeah,
I
I
wish
mean,
them
you
to tell
know,
me.
I don't know if it break. You know, the founding fathers would have said, yeah, that's a non sequitur. You can't go there. Sorry. I would feel like you're not fit for public office.
Yeah, but see, we have freedom of religion here. So if you want to be a
Sure.
Satan worshiper and you want to run for office, I mean, they just voted in a open democratic socialist. Okay, and you know, I got a video that's him talking about that in a minute. But just this next thing I wanted to share is another thing about what we are about to see. What we're about to witness is already going on in Minnesota and in Dearborn, Michigan, and other towns in our country already.
Yeah, that's what gets me, Janet, is you have people openly saying, we are here to destroy the government. We are here to bring you down. You know, this Christian society, tear you apart. We don't want a civil society. We want chaos. We want, you know, we want it our way, and we're going to get it. And people are going, what was the question again? You know, don't even know.
Yeah, I wanted to read something real quick. I posted this on my YouTube channel. I was shocked that YouTube let me leave it up, but I posted this a while back. It says, hold on, I'm trying to find it real quick. Just give me a second. I got a lot. I post like a lot of shit on here. Okay, here it is. There are no examples in history of Islam assimilating into other cultures. They are only examples of Islam dominating, conquering other cultures. That's it. There isn't a single, nowhere in history, Islam doesn't assimilate. They will take over wherever they go.
Does
And
not
this
play
is a
well with
video.
others.
Yeah, this is a video to say, here we go. These people have already, they're still going to work. They still own businesses. They're still paying taxes, but they have to listen to this 5 times a day.
All right, that's enough of that.
And look at the building over here. Look at that. What's all over the building? Does that look like it's in America? This is in Dearborn, Michigan.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And have you guys seen videos of live from London? If you took a camera or a drone and flew it over the streets of London, you wouldn't even be able to tell it's London. There's no women, hardly any women even walking in the street that don't have hijabs on, and the writing on the buildings and stuff, you wouldn't be able to tell. I've had friends of mine that are from England, and they've sent me all kinds of videos, and it's like, it's sad because.
And if they find out about your friends, they'll probably be arrested.
Yeah, I know they probably will. So
Yep.
I don't use names, but what I'm saying is,
you don't have any rights whatsoever, freedom of speech.
Okay. And I posted another one about, England, they handed over their guns, the British, and now they get arrested if they yell and say, I love bacon or whatever, It's sad, but that's where we're headed. step by
Yep.
step by step, and they know exactly what they're doing. But do you guys want this in your town every morning at 5?
That's a hard no.
Okay, and I've said this many times on this show. They're in Texas right now. You can get on Google right now in your state and see how many mosques you have in your state. Okay. And I have anything wrong with a mosque. If you're a Muslim,
Have you done that?
and yes, I have for Texas and a couple other places for other people, but I don't have it all written down or kept all the records. But what I'm saying is, when they build a mosque and they're huge, okay, and they have separate areas for praying for women in their own church. Women don't even pray with the men, okay? Even in airports now, they set aside areas for the men and women to pray in airports, and they're not together either. They're separate. The men and the women are separate when it comes to Islam. So why are they doing a call of prayer 5 times a day everywhere when they have their own church to do it in? See, I don't understand that.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
Because that's a show of dominance. That's
absolutely.
what it is.
That's infringing on other Americans' rights. If I was to go out there and play Scottish music or Christian hymns, they would be throwing a tantrum over it. So I don't understand why these people that live here, the Americans that live in Dearborn, they just been over. They're basically, if you look, you can see them all walking around the city, holding their ankles, just all bent over, walking around, because that's where they put themselves. But I don't want to end up there. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. I am going to do whatever I have to save where I live and try to save my country from that.
See, now if there was a mosque somewhere near me, I would be that wise ass to get like one of them older school, like 1980s boom boxes and walk into the mosque playing like, I don't know, Slayer, Rain in Hell or Rain in Blood, rather.
There you go.
Just,
he would walk in, but he wouldn't walk out. He would walk in, but he wouldn't walk out.
I'd walk out. I'm not sure the boombox would make it because that would probably wind up becoming a projectile.
Yeah.
Well, this next thing is leading. I was played that to lead into this next thing. It's I just don't know what's going on. But here you go. I'm going to show you this. This is him being sworn in.
Raise your right hand. I, Zoran Kwame Mamdani, do solemnly
How much she rehearsed that.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Lies, all lies.
Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Charter of the City of New York.
And the Charter of the City of New York.
And that I will faithfully discharge.
And that I will faithfully discharge.
The duties of.
The duties of.
The office
So funny. Uncovered women
the mayor
administering that.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help
Okay,
me God.
well, I want to show you something, people. See what's in her hand?
Quran. Okay.
Yeah, but she's holding a book with the Quran on top of it. She's not allowed to touch it. But I guarantee no one's going to ask why she's not just holding the book in her hand and letting him have his hand on top of it.
Women aren't allowed to touch a Quran. Really? I didn't know that.
If it's
It doesn't
his,
surprise
she
me.
can't touch it.
Huh?
Okay. Did you guys see when
Moving on. Okay.
I know,
Didn't
but
answer my
did you
question, but
no?
that's fine. Nope.
Go ahead. Say it now again.
I just wanted
I
some
said,
clarification on that,
on what?
on the Quran.
All you gotta do is Google it, look it up.
Okay.
Just like I just
can't
said,
you
women
can't take
have
a
to
second
pray.
for me to answer my question?
I answered it. I said, from what I know, she's not allowed to touch that because it's his. It's his Quran. She's not allowed to touch his Quran. She's a woman. And she's showing skin and all kinds of different things that are
Sure,
totally
both
different.
of them are. Yep,
And she probably eats pork. I mean, this or has a dog.
definitely. Yep,
There's a lot of things that they don't agree with.
sure.
When you'll start seeing changes, we'll see it.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted you to, I just wanted to see if anybody notices this. But anyone in the chat, if you know anything about this, why don't you please fill us in on it? I'd appreciate that. But just like that one gentleman said, is it legal? See, I don't know. I'd like to find out. But
Probably not.
also, I was told that he wasn't even really an American citizen because of the way he was brought over here. But I don't know that either. So
That needs to be looked into. Absolutely. Look what happened with
it should have
Obama.
already been looked into. Okay, but I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. It's hard to share a lot of this stuff because we don't have anyone to give us any answers unless I go to like a government website or whatever and try to find out, as much of it, any of this stuff as I can. But let's see if this is the no. Yeah, here's the other one. Okay, hold on. I'm going to play this one. This is called Rare. It's a foundation. Okay, and this is a foundation that's trying to save people from letting the Islam take over our country. Basically, that's what this group is. But here we go. Listen.
Tonight on Rare TV, we are naming the threat plainly. Our enemies have placed a dangerous foreign infiltrator inside New York's government, and his name is Zohran Mamdani. And under federal law, he has been eligible to be stripped of his citizenship and deported. The question is, why is our government not acting? Mamdani became a U.S. citizen in 2018. Under federal law, specifically 8 U.S.C. Section 1451A, citizenship can be revoked if it was obtained by concealment or misrepresentation, or if, within 5 years, the individual affiliates with communist, totalitarian, or terrorist movements. Mamdani did exactly that. He publicly defended the Holy Land Five, the men convicted on 108 counts of financing Hamas. He is a card-carrying member of the DSA, the largest Marxist operation in America, openly aligned with foreign communist parties in Cuba, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America. He expressed allegiance to the Communist Party of India in 2020, well inside the 5-year window, and he glorified Hamas's U.S. finance arm in a 2017 recording before he took the oath of citizenship. Under the law, that is fraudulent procurement if he hid it, and automatic disqualification if he joined after. Second, immigration law does not treat support for designated terrorists as free speech. Under INA Section 212A3B, once naturalization is revoked, removal is mandatory. This is not opinion. The Holy Land 5 case was adjudicated in federal court. Supporting a Hamas network is material support for terrorism under U.S. law. Period. Here is where we stand now. On June 26, Congressman Andy Ogles formally referred Mamdani for denaturalization review. He then met with Attorney General Pam Bondi in the White House on July 1st and raised what he called, quote, the New York situation. And today, October 28th, Ogles sent a follow-up letter urging DOJ action based on new, troubling information that has since emerged. The question is whether this government intends to enforce the law or to abandon the law when the offender is ideological royalty to the left. Because this is the precedent at stake. Will America allow an Islamic terror-aligned Marxist to keep U.S. citizenship, run for political office, and weaponize our system against us with full impunity? The answer now sits on the desk of Attorney General Pam Bondi. In the meantime, Rare will continue to call for his deportation.
Okay, I wanted you to see that because you asked a few questions about whether or not if someone's been looking into it and stuff like that. So they have been. People have been looking into it and stuff. I don't know what their conclusions are, but I sent something to you, Rex, on your Instagram. But I'm gonna read it I'm going to read this out loud. This is just part of it because I shared something on my timeline. It's a lot of information. So it'd take me a while to read it if I did. But this was just from Search Assist. It says a woman can touch the Quran if she's in a state of ritual purity, which they were not because they weren't dressed properly, for one. However, it's generally considered forbidden for her to touch it during ministration or any other impurity. If she has any other thing going on with her that's impure, which means she's not a Muslim. Not a Muslim, I mean, she doesn't practice Islam. If she's not, in that religion and she's not wearing the proper attire and stuff, then she is not pure. Some scholars allow her to touch translations or interpretations of the Quran during these times. So you'd have to go look at it. But there's a whole thing, and I posted it on my timeline. So if anyone's interested, go to my timeline and click on it. It says DuckDuckGo, because that's what I don't use in Google or any of those other things to search. I use DuckDuckGo. Click on that, and then you can read all about the rules of a woman touching a Quran. So there you go, because we're impure. Especially if we eat pork or we have a dog. There's a whole bunches of stuff. So you wanted the answer. I sent you something. So I wanted to make sure you got that. But there's a lot.
So what are you saying, Janet? Like right before you'd pick up the Quran, you'd have yourself a nice greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray first?
Yeah, I played that one video a while back, and it had an Asian man. He was talking about, he's in England, okay? He's a British Asian, and he's mad because of what's happening to his country when it comes to Islam. Islam is ruining his country, basically. And they don't assimilate. Just like I said, they don't go there and start living the life of a British person. They go there and turn every British into an Islamist, basically, is what they do. That's what they've always done to every country they've ever been to, because they outbreed you. They'll have 10 kids a year, every one of yours. And after 10 years or 12, 14 years, they run the schools and whatever else. They just start taking over. And you let them, because you give them all the
Absolutely.
You need to be hung on your own tree. There's a meme I saw a while back, and it shows a guy with a noose around his neck, and he's got a seed laying on the ground, and he's holding a water can, and the rope is around the seed, and he's watering it. It's basically, you're about to lynch yourself when the tree grows. It's going to take a while for it to grow enough to hang you, but you're going to hang yourself, basically. And that's where we're at. That's where we are if we don't do something. Because basically, we are setting up our grandchildren to become, your daughters will all be owned. They won't be able to pick and choose who they want to marry. They'll be given to whoever. They will mutilate them when they're like 9 so that they can't enjoy marital pleasures, if you know what I'm saying. All these things. And all you got to do is go and look up Islam. Start looking it up. Read about it. If that's what you want to live like, then go live there. Go to their country and do it. But this country isn't set up to be run that way. We have a constitution, and each of our states have their own constitution. That's how our country was set up. You want to go over there and live? Go for it. If you want to do that. We did a movie. It was called Not Without My Daughter. If you guys saw the movie, it was about a woman who married a man that was Islamic, but he lived in America and he lived the American lifestyle, and he ended up losing his job, and he talks to his wife and daughter and says he wants to go back to his homeland so he can visit his family and things like that. And then when he gets her over there, he forbids her from leaving, makes her wear a hijab. The daughter's almost old enough to be betrothed to somebody. The wife wants out. It was done with Sally Field. It's a very, very good movie if you want to watch something.
And the colleges propagate that. They aid in that. Even after graduation, when I got out at the university here in Jonesboro, they have a mosque here in town, not too far away from where I work or my house for that matter, part of the exchange student, and they want that money They want that foreign money from Saudi Arabia and other countries. Some that come over don't have any money. Okay. They come over, they study, but they don't have any money. But there's some that are ultra rich, and they try and take American women back and, beguile them, not knowing once they get them over there, you'll be lucky if you ever see them. Actually happened to a friend of mine.
Well, the thing
And I
is,
think she eventually got back here, but she was one of the
if
lucky.
they have someone that helps them, they'll be able to get out. It may be, wiser
Maybe.
when they come back too, of what not you don't want to be in. You don't want to. I know I would. I'd rather die. I'd rather them just cut my head off than take me over there and force me to be someone's slave, and I won't do it. I would be beaten to death in the street. That's what would happen to me.
Come on, Janet.
That's what would happen to me. I would not give up I'm a Christian. I would not become an Islamic person. I won't pray to those people. I won't do any of that. So I'd be crucified.
Would you commit suicide?
No, I wouldn't kill myself. I said that I would make.
How are you going to get out of it? Let's say you're in that situation. How do you get out of it?
I just don't do what they tell me, and they'll kill me. That's what happens. They beat you in the street. They'll rape you to death, like what you saw. What happened to all those women that were dragged through the streets after they were taken from Jerusalem?
Yeah. Well, you saw, under Obama, he allowed that to happen with the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt to that one reporter.
Mm-hmm.
To over, the hour of like,
it's like
2 hours.
Women are nothing. Women are less than dogs. Okay. Right. All women are for is to have children. That's it. And boys are for fun.
And take your aggressions out on.
Well, whatever. And slap you around or whatever. And you do what you're told. That you're just a piece of meat. You can't go to school. You can't have a job. You can't drive. You can't do anything. You're
can't
nothing.
Learn to read. No
you
education.
are a doormat as a woman over there. So you're basically nothing, which is sad. And I would rather be dead than live that way, period. I wouldn't want my daughters to live that way either. So that's why I hope this doesn't happen. If you have daughters, you should be thinking about this, people. But I want to share this other one. This is about the Clinton Foundation. I thought that you guys would be interested in that. This is a website. It's on X. It's the Clinton Foundation Whistleblowers, and that's all they do is they post tons and tons of information on here about all the different things that they've uncovered, what they're working on, what documents they're trying to get from the government. There's so much on here. I cannot even, tell you about all of it. And I'm sure that a lot of this stuff that's in here, the government already has most of it, probably every single thing that they've probably got. But I want to share the link to this because if any of you haven't, if you're on X and you haven't gone here and looked at some of this stuff, you're missing out because there's so much stuff about in Haiti. I can't even list everything. It's just so much stuff. But I always wanted you guys to see this, and I wanted to take this right here, and I'm going to put it in the chat because I want any of you, if you're on X, to please follow this profile because they put some good stuff in there. There's tons of information on there, and that's how you learn. You follow these people, you read what they put out, and then you share it with other people. And anything new that's going to happen or about to happen or whatever, I'm sure that they'll also have that out there too. So I'm trying to find this. For some reason, my screen is green. It's not, when I'm clicking on it, I'm not seeing a picture or anything. I'm just seeing a green screen. So I have to click on it and open it before I can share it because there's nothing there. I don't know why it's green. Okay, this is what I wanted to basically close the show with. Everybody knows who this is, right? The young man, one of the people that went there and busted open the whole thing about the fraud in Minnesota. as a street journalist, basically an actual
Right.
journalist that was investigating this stuff. So his name's Nick Shirley. Okay, and I wanted to show you this interview with him and share it with you guys. It's on the PBD podcast.
Have you gotten any threats, like
Yeah.
actual death threats?
Yeah, well, in person and also.
Can you tell me
online.
about that? Like, are they
Well,
messaging you saying we're going to get you? What are they saying to you?
Yeah, like they're saying, oh, like kirked. You're going to be kirked.
You're going to be kirked. That's what they're saying to
Yeah,
you.
like you're the next. You'll be the next Kirk. And it's just like, are you kidding me? 'Cause it's not even like I hate what's happening right now. Like, I feel bad for my family, honestly, because it's like, yeah, like we didn't do anything wrong, and yet you guys are coming after me like I'm some sort of villain, right? So I'm like, my little sister's getting phone calls. I'm like, why are you guys doing this?
Your little sister's getting phone calls.
Yeah, from like the news. I'm like, okay, don't talk to my family. I mean, some news in India, they doxed my home. They doxed my dad. It was really weird. And I haven't even told my dad about that because I just don't want to even bother him about it.
Well, Dad, you know now.
But like they put it, like, it's just like, are you guys kidding me? Like, why are you guys coming after somebody for going against fraud? Like, I didn't make this a right or left issue. I just showed you guys that fraud was happening. And now you guys are coming after me. You're saying, I'll be the next Kirk. You're literally stopping at intersections and coming after me and trying to attack me. Like, why are you so evil? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you defending fraud? Do you like money being stolen? No. And what are you doing? You're a racist. No, I'm not a racist. I'm just telling you what the facts are. You guys are stealing money from the people that are working hard here inside the United States. I was literally talking to a black man, and then the Somali man comes out, and he's also black. So I can't understand what they're thinking, calling me a racist. I'm having a great conversation with a black man, and then another black man comes up, and he's Somali descent, and he comes and attacks me for being a racist. Like, no, I'm not a racist. It's so stupid. And that's why the fraud has been able to happen for so long, because people like Tim Walz are afraid to be called racist. And me and my generation, we're over it. Like, we don't care.
Oh, I love that, buddy.
Like, we do not care. Call us a racist. I do not care, because I am not a racist. We're just seeing that prices of homes are so expensive. I don't even have a friend that can afford a home. People aren't getting married because of how expensive things are. And we're paying so much money in taxes. Most kids are, I'm lucky because I didn't go to college, but most kids are starting their life off behind the starting line. They're thousands of dollars in the debt. And so, yes, we're upset because you guys are stealing millions of dollars and getting rich. And then you're bragging about the white man working on TikTok. Who's actually the racist? You're the racist. You're the one saying the white man, you work, white woman, you work, white man. We're sick of it. Nobody cares. Like, stop committing fraud. If you're going to be here, be happy to be here and work hard like we're working hard. Whether you're black, Mexican, Asian, white, just go and work. And don't start playing this victim card and start trying to make things political about money, for instance, or don't get mad at people for making money. Like, that's why America is the greatest country in the world, is because of capitalism. And we had 250 years to do it. All these other countries had thousands of years to do it, but they didn't do it. That's why we have to protect what's ours.
Well, see, this is another reason I wanted to play this, is to show you the other side of the fence. Okay. You have a young man that wants to one day have what we have, which is you find someone, you get married, you start having a family, you have a home, you love each other, and you're trying to have the American dream. That's all he wants. But just like you said, they can't afford it. They can't get a home. They can't make enough money to pay their bills because the taxes are so high where he lives. Okay. Then he finds out about all this fraud through these daycares, whatever, that are also in Ohio and other states have these same Somali daycares going on that probably have no kids in them, basically, just like these ones. And what happens to him? Because he's trying to be a good American and trying to get the truth out, He gets death threats. They call and harass his family. Someone might even try to burn their house down or blow up one of their vehicles while they're in it. You know, who knows what horrible, terrible stuff these people are willing to do. But what's sad is, even worse, is the fact that these are other taxpayers that are calling him and his family a bunch of racists that don't know anything about this guy. And they go to work every day, and some of their money is coming out of their check to pay for these frauds, all the fraud that's going on. But they're still going to stand up there and go, "Yeah, racist," or "You hate people because they're not your religion." You know, whatever their dumb idea of a reason is, they're brainwashed into thinking that he's the bad guy because he's trying to stop criminal enterprise. You know, it's just ridiculous. I get death threats all the time. I get so much hate on my channel, and I'm not even paid. I don't make a dime off of it. On Mother's Day, I had a message on there that said, "Happy Mother's Day, Janet. It's a shame I can't understand a word you say with Trump's dick in your mouth." That's the kind of stuff I get. Okay. When all I'm trying to do is help people, you know, and maybe make them laugh with some dumb video or whatever. But my shows, I try to share information, factual stuff, like this actual interview comes from his mouth, what he's saying himself, you know. But people hate me because of it. Because I'm not in the right religion, or my hair color is not right, because I'm not a blonde. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. They just automatically hate me because
You're
of
a
something.
woman. You're a woman.
Whatever it is.
Oh, they hate anybody with a countering view, because, you know, 90% of these people, they don't have the ability to think critically. So whatever they're told by their overlords, that's what they chirp along to. And I've talked about it before. I mean, we see that rampant on both sides of the fence anymore, because you've seen some of these people, like, you know, even the ones that claim they're for good and they're for right, and they will just make up shit just to try to make their point seem more valid. And you know that because you do moderation for Twitter, so you see some of the nonsense that gets pushed on there. But people don't have that ability to do any kind of critical thinking, to look up these things for themselves, to do a little bit of research. It doesn't usually take that much time, especially with all the information you got at the end of your fingertips anymore, with the powerful freaking computing that's in a damn phone, where you could look all this stuff up. They don't want to do it, and they just want to believe whatever they're told. I mean, it's kind of like in the days of the town crier, really. I mean, if you look at the way social media has been constructed, with the narrative to just be able to spin in one direction on one side of the fence or the other, it's the same damn thing. You got your town crier who's giving all the talking points that everybody needs to follow, and everybody just curves over and follows all of it without question. I get into a lot of shit with people, Janet, because I see things right where I see them, and it doesn't deviate. And I tend to irritate people.
I know it's, I don't know. I can't believe that I'm even shocked anymore, honestly, but I am. I still what the, you know, I just don't understand. I guess I'm not meant to. I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous that anyone wants to live under socialism or communism. But have any of you guys
makes you smarter than the people that do?
I was trying to find the video. I thought I had it posted, but I went through all of them. I was trying to check them all, and it's actually him being sworn in. Oh, I guess that was the one I was playing, and I stopped it beforehand, where he says, when he says it on the video, he says, "You voted for a democratic socialist, and that's what you have," like that, and he's proud of it. So remember this, though. Socialist is a person that wants everything that you have except your job. They want to take your home. They want to take everything that you've worked hard for, because you shouldn't have anything nicer than the person next to you. We should all have nothing and be happy.
You know what I think is the funniest thing, too, is when you get these people that are activists like that, and they're socialists and everything, and they're like, "Oh, well, socialism, communism are two different things." No, they're really one and the same, because you can't have communism without socialism. You look at the old USSR. What did that stand for? The United Soviet Socialist Republic.
Yep.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, I know. It's just,
Eyes
I
wide
don't know.
shut.
People just don't know. They don't realize. But I was going to show this. I took a piece of bacon and you make it a ribbon shaped. And I said, it's a cure. It says, share this ribbon to help cure Islam. So if I could make a rubber piece of bacon pins, that's what I would do. Just like what I would sell them on my channel, in my store. I would sell them. I think that would be a great something to buy. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to figure out a way to make that. And that's one of the first things I'm going to sell in my store. I wonder if I'd be allowed to do that or not. You think I would? You think you two would get me say, no, you can't have that?
Who knows anymore what their ridiculous rules? But just remember, every Halloween, make sure you have a big giant bacon costume you walk around in.
I don't know. I just think it's terrible, but that's the kind of stuff that I would want to sell. And I would, once I made a certain amount of money, I would donate it, like to the veterans. Definitely something to do with the military, because I'm a huge supporter of veterans. But I just think it's great, this is a ribbon, and I believe let's cure Islam with this fake. But remember, I was saying earlier about this Asian guy. He's Asian. You look at him, but when he speaks, he's got a British accent, which is it's just really neat. But he's funny, and he took his shirt off and he put his shirt on. And he made it basically out of pieces of bacon all over him. And then he was singing and stuff. It was hilarious. I'll have to try to find it, but it's on my timeline. But you'd have to go through the whole thing. But it's just funny as heck. And he does that. And I know he probably gets in trouble a lot, especially now that you can get arrested if you post something online that they feel is mean or whatever. They can arrest you for it.
Hate speech.
Oh, it's just scary as hell.
That's the most irritating made-up term I've ever heard in the world. Hate speech. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
even the Supreme Court said that's absolute nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, get arrested for it. But I just want to say thank you to guys. You got anything coming up, Tommy? What's going on with your channel? And then I'll ask Rex.
The same thing as always. Just doing the toy show. We moved the time up to 7:30, so hopefully we get done a little bit earlier from now on. The last week that didn't help me, this week it didn't help me at all, because we wound up running like 4+ hours because we did the best of 2025 with the toys. So yeah, eventually I'm going to get some other stuff going. I need to get a new computer now. So the internet's better, but now I need a new computer since one died, and then I'm going to move into some other stuff, going old school back and talk about the really old stuff again, old retro gaming and like super old shows like cartoons and everything, and have that fun again. Yeah, that's about it for me. That's about all I got going on. So
okay,
appreciate you inviting me on, Janet.
You're welcome. I've been friends with you for quite a while, and I think you're awesome. So
I try, and I try not to be too irritating.
No, you're not. I know I try. I'm very irritating to a lot of people. But Rex, what do you have going on with your channel?
Well, we didn't do Feature Friday this week because I was just late and forgot all about it. But we'll do Feature Friday on the 9th, where we feature comic book artists. It'll be Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, big DC artist for many decades, since the 70s at least. And I'll be on the mic stand on the 18th. That's all I've got on the agenda right now, except to work on the daily, 4 o'clock shadow show and make that as big as it can. And, slow growth, but that's great. Thank you for coming on last night, the draw stream. There'll probably be, I usually don't do an early draw stream on Saturday, but I'm kind of feeling it.
Yeah.
Good. I'm right now. I'm just trying to stay in my headspace and out of the lane and don't get hit by anybody else that's driving,
Yeah. Well, good luck on that. Hope it works out for you.
But
tomorrow tomorrow I'm going to be playing. I guess you'd call it Pathfinder with Bruce, and it would be as high inside, the one where it's bigger players and we all have multiple characters and things like that. So I'll be playing that. And then Sunday, we're going to be reviewing the movie The Big Lebowski, which I've never seen. I've heard all about it. I've seen bunches of memes and stuff, but I've never seen the movie yet. And we usually come to my Discord at 12:30 Central Time, and we'll watch the movie. And then we have like a short discussion about it with whoever's in there. That we watch the movie with us, and then we'll go live and talk about the movie. But after that, I don't really know what's going on for sure because I have to make a couple of phone calls to the courthouse in Little Rock. And each time I call to see whether or not I've been picked to go in to be interviewed for a jury. So if I get a jury, I'm sure I won't be streaming at all or doing anything because I'll be busy at the courthouse for a federal thing. So I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated or whatever. I'll post it in my posts area on my channel, and to keep people updated on what's going on. But as of this month of January, that is what my number one priority is going to be.
Janet, Big Lebowski, a very good movie. May I suggest, do not. And I implore you, do not let anybody talk you into watching the sequel, The Jesus Rolls. It is absolutely horrible.
Okay, well, I haven't seen this one yet, and I'm excited about it because the last couple movies that I got to watch that I'd never seen, I was surprised how good they were. So, and I really do like watching new stuff, and it's really good to watch it with other people that haven't watched it and a few that have, and then we get to interact and talk about what we liked, what we did, and things like that. It's fun. I really enjoy it. I look forward to it every week. I told Bruce, I go, we'll never run out of movies because there's always gonna be bad movies. You know what I mean? And Bruce, he just loves bad movies. A few of them I watch and I'm like, oh, it's terrible. I left on my vacation last year when Bruce brought up that he wanted to watch Hundreds of Beavers. Have you guys seen that movie? I had never heard of it. I had never heard of it. And he showed the trailer and I was like, oh my God, it was terrible. So I told him, well, I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks on my trip because I was going to go babysit 2 beagles for a friend of mine so she could go to Norway to visit her relatives. So I said, well, I'm doing that. You guys, you pick a couple of your friends and you guys watch that movie and do a review because I was like, I didn't want to watch it. So I'm thankful. Thank you for not making me watch that movie. But I'm sure that I'm going to end up watching some really bad ones that I don't really want to. Because he made me watch FDR, American Badass or whatever. Have you seen that? It was really bad. No. I mean, it was just a really bad movie, and it was horrible. So I've seen some really bad movies thanks to Bruce. But
the movie selection have been so bad for me lately that I've gone back onto Tubi and I'm watching older shows again, like Thunder the Barbarian that I used to watch when I was a kid, and watching Forged in Fire again because it's just nothing better to watch.
Yeah, I got to watch the Star Trek series that I think it was like 7 or 8 episodes that went from the last episode of Star Trek, the original series, to the first movie. They like filmed, it was called
Star Trek Continues.
Yeah, Star Trek Continues. Oh my God, I loved it. I even cried on a couple of episodes because it was so good.
Here's a funny one you might find slightly interesting. So we were sitting there when Wes Moody used to do those all the time. He used to run them and talk about them. Mm-hmm. And one time, lo and behold, I'm blanking on his name now. The dude that played Kirk, he actually showed up in the chat, and I was talking to him in the chat, and wound up inviting him up on the panel. I told Wes, I said, I think this is really the guy, and we actually had a conversation with him for a little while.
Awesome. How lucky are you guys?
William Shatner? Is that who you're thinking of?
No, the guy who was playing him in Continues.
Oh, Pines.
His name, it's not Pines either. It's someone, I can't remember what his name is, but he was in the.
There it is. Hardwick got it. Vic Mignogna.
Yeah.
Vic Mignogna.
It was a fan-made Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job. They were so good.
10
But you
episodes.
could tell
Yeah.
they loved the series. They loved the original series, and it came out of them, while they were doing their parts on the series. It was just so good. I just loved it. I've told everybody, you guys got to watch it. It's so good if you like Star Trek. So yeah, it was definitely worth to get to watch that. So that was nice. One show that I would love to do, if I can get somebody who wants to watch starting the very first episode all the way through once a week, I'm thinking about maybe it be Tuesday or Wednesday night. I want to do a Futurama. It's one of my favorite shows. And if somebody wants to do a Futurama reviews with me or whatever, I would love it if somebody wants to do that. So send me a DM or whatever and let me know if you're interested on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, Central Time for me. It would be the best, but it would just be fun. And I would like to dive in deep, about the writers and the cartooning, everything it took to make the episode each time. I think it would be a lot of fun. So just let me know.
Well,
that's one thing.
Thanks, Tank. Yeah, they do that a lot. They've done it to me quite a few times on Sub Me from channels. Yeah, I've been trying to convince some of those guys. They go through some of the older series and everything. And two of my favorite series was Night Court and Barney Miller. I love those two shows.
Oh, I love Night Court. Yeah, it's a good show. But yeah,
I won't watch the new one. I love the old stuff.
Well, yeah, the stuff that my mother used to watch, she just loved it. She loved Johnny Carson. She loved MASH. Trying to think of some of the other ones, but her and my mom and my grandma would sit and watch a lot of these shows together. So
Hogan's Heroes, McHale's Navy.
He was into soap opera, Days of Our Lives, and stuff like that. I never watched any of that junk.
Night Stalker.
So yeah, Night Stalker, that was a good series.
Yep.
I liked stuff like the Tales of the Crypt. That was something I liked on TV, when I got to watch it. That was really good.
Beretta was not bad.
I never really watched anything like that.
Never watched Beretta? Okay.
No, sorry. But thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. I hope that everyone in the chat at least got something out of what we talked about. There's so much going on, I think, right now behind the scenes that we have no clue about. I really believe it. The little bits of stuff that we get spewed out here and there is just the scratch in the surface. I really do believe that. I don't know why, but I'm really getting my palms are starting to sweat thinking about what's about to happen. And I don't know. I just hope it's good for us on our side, not their side, really. This is how I felt right before they arrested Trump. I had this weird feeling that something big was about to happen, but I wasn't expecting them to do that. But that's what happened. So I don't know. It's like an intuition or whatever, I guess. I'm not trying to say I'm a witch or anything like that, but I just have this itch or feeling something's about to happen, something big. So
I hope it's in the positive and not the negative.
Too. That's what I'm saying. I've been praying, please let it be something good for a change for us, for our country and for our veterans and all the people who sacrificed so much to make America what it is. That's what I want to see. I want to see that, something good like that. But thank you very much, and hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Have a happy new year.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Hopefully, it's gonna start off with a bang and be great all the way through. But we'll see. But thank you guys. Talk to you later.
We will see.
Later.
If you voted for Donald Trump, that means that you stand for everything that is going on in our country right now. That you stand for all these tariffs. That you stand for this mass deportation. that you stand for getting men out of women's sports. I mean, the list goes on and on. You actually stand for this. If you voted for Trump, you actually stand for this. And if you voted for Trump, I just want to say that I love you and thank you so much for saving this country. Have a blessed day.